All right, so my first guest has an amazing sense of fashion, but primarily he is an artist who has been doing music for quite some time now. And you can tell that he's been doing this for quite some time because he comes from the era where your hit song became your surname. What am I talking about? Well, my guest names explain itself or themselves. We know him mostly as CQ, Muzukulu Shuga. I know others will add some more, but welcome to the show.
Hey man, what an introduction there. Thank you very much.
And you know, I don't know if this happens as much these days. I was talking about this earlier on, but it seems like it's not very common that people add a name at the end now. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, maybe it's a new era and maybe the people are comfortable with their names.
Yeah.
Because back in the days, our fans would like tag you with the, your song or your album. They'll have to hook you up with that name.
Yeah.
So yeah, Danny Kaya, they'll bring you.
Yeah.
You come with another hit, they'll be like Danny, whatever. Masiko Onse and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
By the way, looking good as always. You're always on point. I even told myself, let me even not try to compete with CQ. That's a non-starter. We don't go there.
Nah. But you look good, man, all the time.
Do you ever get the? He's just saying that, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you ever get the pressure to maintain it because people expect that from you? Now you always have to live up to it.
Well, I always say this, it's a lifestyle for me. All right, like people who know me even from back in school.
Yeah.
I had a nickname at school. They used to call me designers. Okay, but I've never struggled to know what to wear, what to put on. It's not like I plan that I'm going to look this. No, I think I just have a good taste in clothes. So I'll say almost everything in my wardrobe is nice. So whatever I decide to pick on and wear, I'll still look good. So it's not one of those issues where I plan. No, I don't even know what I'm going to wear sometimes. Not even sometimes. I don't even know what I'm going to wear until I get in the bathroom. So it's not one of, even if there's a very important event, I just know, okay, I have to go for this event. I need to look like this. I need to look formal. So I need to look at my clothes that look stylish or whatever it is. And then, boom, come out of the bathroom. There's always a picture. I don't know where I've got these angels that's tell us, so this is how you're going to look. I'll be like, oh, I forgot about that. Then I go in the wardrobe, look for those things. If they're not ironed, I have to now go and iron them. And yeah, so pretty much, I think it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, no, we can tell. But we're also living in a society where when someone becomes fashionable like you do, you have people who believe that you are gay or not so masculine.
Oh my God.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've suffered a lot of in the past, like this guy is too clean. He must be gay. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, does it mean that when you're too clean, then you are perceived as being homosexual? But obviously, I've heard that, of course, a lot of homosexuals are very clean and they like a lot of fashion and whatnot. But yeah, I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not one of them.
But even still on the issue of sexuality, I mean, not so long ago, there was the whole conversation. I think you expressed yourself, you're one of the people who expressed themselves.
Yeah.
You were talking about Ben Lombe at that time.
Yeah.
And others came out to defend him and were castigating you, saying, leave him alone. Why do you have to do this?
Yeah.
What exactly were you bothered by? Are you still bothered by it?
Yeah, I still stand on my point. You see, there's nothing wrong with fashion. But at the end of the day, you need to also know that there are people that you're inspiring, And I'm exposed. I'm all exposed. I've traveled to many countries out there. And Zambia in itself, I kind of feel like we need the right people to be models, you know what I mean? I know we get excited to have people, inspire others, because whenever you're in the limelight, just know that you're inspiring somebody out there. But I was a bit uncomfortable when he appeared at those awards. I don't know whether it was awards, and I didn't have any problem with what he was dressed with, what he was putting on. The issue I had was the eyelashes, for a guy. I think he had eyelashes, and I kind of felt a little bit uncomfortable because I was not able to tell whether it's a man or it's a woman, you know what I mean? And at the time, I didn't even know who that guy was, really. So I was like, who's this guy, you know what I mean? So they were telling me, no, he's he's a hairstylist, whatever it is, hairdresser. I was like, but I think we're losing it. You know, if you're going to have this type of people, you know, like inspire a lot, because at the end of the day, I've got sons. I've got my sons, and I wouldn't be comfortable to have my kids be inspired by such a guy. Like, you know, you can do your hair. There's nothing wrong with your hair, but if you do your hair and do lashes, there comes a problem.
But is it a public figure's? I mean, you're a public figure. You know about this.
Yeah.
Is it a public figure's responsibility
to
who they inspire? Because look, you have your certain preferences.
Yes,
There's certain people you follow that have common values as you, and others who don't. So those who don't, you keep them away. You stay away from them. So is it his responsibility on him inspiring your children?
No. In as much as I'm just giving my kids as an example, I think we live in a very, you know, open society. You know, people can choose to follow what they have to follow. But on a larger scale, you know, the issue of being Christian, being a Christian nation has its own values. You know what I mean? It's unlike in places where it's just they just leave it to just everyone to do whatever they have to do. Yes, Zambia was declared a Christian nation. We need to follow. We need to abide by the rules of, you know, being a Christian nation. There's a lot of restrictions in most of the things that are supposed to happen. So you find that social media doesn't have regulations of that sort, okay? But the government has the power to, you know, restrict one or two things. I think we're coming from a previous government where there was, you know, the religious, you know,
National Guidance Affairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Ministry.
So people like, you know, the Sia ones were deported because, in a way, they didn't influence, you know, society in a good way. You know what I mean? But with social media, I haven't seen much of those restrictions, you know. So at the end of the day, I may look like I'm trying to hate, but it's for the good. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of things even in the entertainment industry that artists do, your fellow artists do, that people also feel doesn't influence society as well. So should that same situation apply for people like Benlom in this case, where people are expecting children to be inspired by him and want him to behave a certain way?
At the end of the day, damage has to be caused in a way, whether you like it or not. I know some people, whenever you speak against certain things, they always take it more, you're envious, you know what I mean, because this guy is doing well in this type of area. So obviously you're speaking from a jealous perspective, whereas you're just giving just your opinion. I think everybody has their own opinion. So if I give my opinion, it's within my, you know, my rights to, you know, to give out my whatever I'm thinking, but not necessarily that I want people to back me up or support me, because everybody's got their opinion. They can either just decide to respect, you know, my opinion, or disregard it. So, like, for us, speaking just from my perspective as an opinion, just an open opinion.
I'm happy you've brought that up, because on your social media, you also talk about jealousy and how you think it is a big problem in Zambia. What exactly makes you say so? From your personal experiences, what exactly has happened that you feel validates that jealousy is a big problem in Zambia?
I want to believe that Zambia is one of the places that has a lot of talent. And I kind of feel like we go around and around the circles, mainly because as a nation or as a people, I do not know where this came from, but I want to believe that it should be some generational kind of curse, you know what I mean, that we need to be delivered from. Because when I look at other countries like Nigeria, you know, I think these nations they support each other. They're very patriotic about their own people first, before supporting others. Whereas Zambia would support anything that comes from abroad, okay, before theirs. But I think the main issue that I'd like to address is I kind of feel like it's backwardness, honestly speaking, to support others before yours, okay? And for the longest time, Zambians as a people have a way that I kind of feel like when you're coming up on the scene, they see your potential. Oh, this guy's a great artist. There's a picture they put you to be the way they feel you should reach. And once you go beyond the expectations, you become an enemy. So let's say CQ is only supposed to reach #1 and not beyond that. So CQ reaches #1 and everybody's happy for you. And beyond that #1 now, like you're trying to push yourself to go international. The moment you do an international collab that they didn't expect, there comes a bit of, it's going past our expectation. So I kind of feel like Zambians always limit you to a certain level of success. And the moment you start looking like you're going beyond a certain level of that success, you become an enemy. It's the same people that take you up that want to pull you. So I kind of feel like Zambians' mindset somehow.
But you say it's a curse. Do you think that's the real problem? That there's nothing really tangible, it's just a curse?
Yes, I kind of feel it's like a very big curse that we need to...
Don't you think it's also like maybe poverty levels? That we have a lot of people who are not doing very well in society, that when only one person is seen doing well, it becomes a problem saying, why only that person? But if there's maybe like 5, 10 people doing that, don't you think it would have been different?
Yeah, I kind of feel like poverty itself is a curse. You know what I mean? Yeah, I kind of feel like it's a curse from the beginning, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, look, if we are to blow, obviously the reason why, I'll just pick from the music perspective, okay? Yeah. Whatever kind of genre of music or nations that you've seen excel, they've always had big artists that have gone beyond, okay? So let's say Nigeria has always had Fela Kutis, the Fela Kutis and whatnot. From the 80s, 90s, those guys were international artists. Look at South Africa. He had the Rebecca Malopez, you know, what do you call that? Brenda Fassis. Yeah. You know what I mean? Those were already international artists. They're already, what do you call that? Hugh Masekelas. They were already international artists. So Zambia has never produced international artists from that perspective. So whatever we're trying to do, we're just trying to break through the international market, okay, which we feel we are not even very supportive of. Okay, I'll speak of, I think, artists that have really tried to push the, you know, Zambian flag out there, but still, I kind of feel like we do not support them like they are supposed to be supported.
Oh, we'll pick up at that point. We're still hanging out with CQ. And we're talking a lot about what's going on also in the entertainment industry. There's more going on, artists retiring, and there's also that conversation of artists, when they go outside the country to push the Zambian flag higher, apparently they just go and perform to the Zambians in the diaspora. So we'll talk about all these things when we get back.
Yeah, man! You're watching I and I King Dandy crazy on the table with Chimweka. Should I make it? The caption. Boo!
Welcome back to On the Table. Hopefully, while on that short break, you're able to grab yourself a drink of Black Label. Obviously, Zambian brewery's Black Label. It's called Carling Black Label. And while you continue enjoying your drink, you enjoy the conversations here with my guest, CQ, who is still with us. And before the break, we talked about issue around jealousy and how you feel it's a curse. Yeah. But speaking of jealousy, some people take it that, or you come across as an artist who is frustrated. Exactly. You're frustrated because you're finished.
Exactly.
Are you bothered or really frustrated that you are not musically at the peak that people expect you to be at?
I'm not affected. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, I would have been very frustrated if maybe the artist that you're praising to be the it artist probably at the level that I was when I was at my peak. You know, it's like comparing me to like someone who has a PhD. You understand what I'm saying? I have a PhD in music, okay? And then you're trying to compare me with someone who's just earned a degree. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, you're like saying, oh, CQ, you're jealous of this guy because he's got a degree. But you're forgetting that I have a PhD. You understand what I'm saying? So how does jealousy come in? If I have a PhD, I've already passed that level. And even the people you're trying to compare me to, I already passed those levels.
So for example, like right now, the hottest artist is Yo Maps.
Yeah.
So you've already surpassed the level that Yo Maps is currently on.
You know what? I would say there's things that I have attended that Yo Maps has not yet attended. You understand what I'm saying? But of course, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't want to make those comparisons, because at the end of the day, it's like you can't compare where I'm coming from and what's at stake. What's at stake will always win, because the majority of the people know Yo Maps today. Some of the people will just look at, who's this guy? And you're saying CQ is a musician. The problem never heard of me. You understand? But I've been there in the game for a long time. The truth is, when I say I've attained it, is that I've achieved the best of the things that in the industry. I'm an award-winning artist. You understand what I'm saying? I've done songs that have gone #1 before. What we consider achievement for a big artist today is maybe being on billboards. I've been on billboards before. You know, I've been on #1 before. I've done all the things. I've traveled through music. I've done international shows. I've done international collabos with big producers. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like, why would you want to compare me with someone that is probably mushrooming and now making sense? You understand what I'm saying? My opportunities are different from Yo Maps. I've recorded with big producers in the US. I've collaborated with big producers in Nigeria. You understand? I've done collabos with big names in Africa. You know, the last time I was talking, I think we had an interview. I had a movie with Chimweka. You know, but all those accolades are going to be ignored because somebody feels I don't deserve to, you know, to speak. So I always feel like, look, music is more like education. Let's say, for instance, you know, you go to school, you earn your bachelor's degrees, you earn it once. You know what I mean? You have that award for you. You have been awarded the bachelor's, the PhD once. Okay, you still use the same PhD to get better, you know, to go for greener pasture using your PhDs. Whereas music, you can only speak only when they feel you have a hit song, or you kind of feel like, or they kind of feel like you are relevant, you know. Whereas I have awards, it's the same as the PhD. So within my industry, I've got the right to speak and advise. You know what I'm saying? I'll say, guys, I think we're losing it somewhere. Why should I speak? Why? Because I'm speaking from experience. I've achieved. What I'd love to see is people to go beyond if they feel I'm finished, they should go beyond my level. If you go beyond me and speak, then I'll say, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to speak because there's somebody on top. You know what I mean?
You talk about having attained quite a lot in your music career and achieved so much.
Yeah.
And I know you still release music here and there, time and again.
Yeah.
But recently we heard of Macky too, talking about him retiring from active music. And others have commended him saying, well, nice, because you are leaving the stage where people are still clapping.
Yeah.
Do you think it's actually something that's possible, to see it from a passion perspective, to actively retire from music, your passion such as music?
You see, different understandings and different just approaches, okay? In as much as you want to leave the stage while people are clapping, okay, you should also remember that Zambia has a very short memory, you know, span, so to say. I think there's an artist that retired at their peak, and today we've forgotten about him, okay? I'll give you the likes of Nasty D. Nasty D retired at his peak. You know, he left the scene, was like, I've quit music, I've gone, let me just concentrate on doing other things. But do you still remember Nasty D? Are you still giving the juice that, you know, this guy put Zambia on the map and he did these great things? No. You know, Zambian people have a very short memory, you know. So no matter how big you go, they'll always forget you at that point. Such that even if Macky came back 10 years up from today and decided to speak like I'm speaking, they'll be like, I mean, that was then, now, this is now. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why I feel we're not crossing over, because you see, everybody wants to start. Instead of starting from where the other one ended going forward, you always want to start and reach where I reached, and then where are we going? There's a lot of information that I have. In as much as someone can want to say, overlook me and say, hey, man, you're not relevant and whatnot, bro, I got connections. I got the master key that can help you go beyond where I reached. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's about numbers. You know, the youths are more in numbers than the people probably that were youths then. You know, because most of my fans today, I think they're in the, what can I call it, managerial positions. They're the ones running the show. They don't have that much time to be on social media to support me and say, no, CQ is a brilliant artist for real. This is the one say that. You know what I'm saying? So if nobody's telling the story about who I am, I'm going to tell it myself. That's the reason why I've taken it upon myself to, you know, to share some of my experiences in the music industry, because I'm just trying to recite them, just try to let them know who I am. Because if someone just comes and tells you, this guy is finished, at what perspective are they speaking from? How do you rate a finished artist at the end of the day? Is it about being number one, or is it about releasing music more often? What makes a person finished? You know what I mean? And I think from that conversation, when most people are saying, oh, probably this guy is frustrated and whatnot, finished and all that. So I was asking, like, what do you mean I'm finished? I just released a song, Baby, and I think on the countdown it was number 3 at the time. So what do you mean? You know, sometimes when you don't pay attention to artists, they may be looked at as finished. But when you pay attention and compare what the other person is doing, you find that they're probably not what you think they are.
Let's conclude with this. It's been also another topical issue. You've traveled before, you've performed in different countries.
Yes.
And there was that whole argument that when new artists go there, you're just going to perform to the Zambians. If you perform to people who are from that countries, maybe they've escorted the Zambians, they're the cleaners there maybe or something. But you are failing to go and perform to artists who are failing, as artists, you are failing to perform to people who are from that country originally.
Yeah. I think I saw that post, and I had 2 takes, all right? And I still go back to the jealousy again, and also against the jealousy. The truth is, Zambian music is just coming up. In as much as it may be big here, it's still trying to break through to the international market. But the truth is, I feel like sometimes we do not know the right material or right artist to take out there. You know what I mean? There's going to be local music. It's everywhere. There's local musicians and commercial musicians, international. You know, they have the international qualities, appeal. So if you're going to take a local artist that you feel this is the best music we have right now, it can be the best music on the ground. But that does not mean that music is what's supposed to be out there. No. So sometimes the selections, the certain selections of people, they take them based on how big they are today on the ground, on the Zambian map. But you take the same artist, you take to Nigeria, and you're like, we want this artist to feature Davido, and Davido looks at like, this is the best music that you have in Zambia. You understand what I'm saying? They start rejecting you. You need to understand that there's always going to be international artists, appealing artists, and local artists. So you need to separate the two. But anyway, you understand things, because I think we're getting there slowly, okay? We are getting there. There's all this excitement and people are trying to push themselves out there. We'll never get those collabos as long as we're taking wrong artists to collaborate with international artists. It will never work. The chemistry will never work, okay? As long as it's a wrong artist with featuring, even Jay-Z, you can make a flop. Even if I featured...
But then how do you know who the right artist is?
Look,
because if this is the best we have, or this is the most happening artist we have here, how do you know who the right artist is?
The problem is we Zambians move with the wind, okay? When I say we move with the wind, it's because it's the artist with the most wave that we consider the leader of the pack, or the leader of should lead the spearhead the music aspect. I'll give you examples of people that may be ignored, that have that international appeal. Beyond Zambia, Ebo Chungu, okay?
Yeah, I saw you post about his, is it Imperfect song?
Yeah, Imperfect. Listen to that song. It may sound boring to know youngsters and all that, but that's a song that I feel would bring us a Grammy. You understand? Those are the kind of artists that we need to take out there, push them, support them like that. I don't think Abel would embarrass us at any time. You understand what I'm saying? And speaking of performing to Zambians alone, I've performed in the United States, United Kingdom, I've been like South Africa. The problem with Zambians, even the promoters out there, they only promote to the Zambians. So if, for instance, there's a Copper Belt song that is trending here in Zambia, okay? The Zambians there, out there in the diaspora, want to be reminded of home. They'll bring Bundu music, which should remind them of home. So the music that the artists are going to call to America is not an artist that would appeal to the Americans. It's for them, for their own consumption, to remind them of home, or the ghetto, and how they were living. But when you're trying to promote an artist like to other nationalities, I think you need to bring quality artists. And it's true, what Chela was saying, it's true that these promoters need to improve, not only to promote Zambians amongst Zambians. And people, Zambians in every state, even in America, I'd perform to audiences of maybe about 100 people. And the people are so excited. I'm looking at 200 people is like way too little for me to be, happy and that I'm performing. I came all the way from Zambia just to come and perform for 100 people. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why you find that when you go to perform abroad, there's not much pictures. But of course, there'll be investment that I was performing in say, Atlanta, but the pictures of the people that were there are never shown. You understand what I'm saying? But how long are we going to be lying to ourselves? You understand?
I'm glad we brought you on the show because I think you're the right person for that conversation. You've experienced that before. It's just sad that we don't have as much time as we'd like to dissect this thing.
You have to call me again.
We'll need to make a part two, but CQ, thank you so much for coming through.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
CQ was dropping the gems. I was equally learning. I hope you were as well with the conversation that we had with him.